take a look at the odds from the practice test if you needed some extra prep to get ready for that chapter 13 check-in. Okay, so remember, we always approach subtraction as adding the opposite. Then we can use our commutative property and move things around since it's all addition. I have 8x, I have 2x, so I have a total of 10x. There's nothing to combine with my negative 5, so 10x plus negative 5, or probably you'll see it as 10x minus 5. Adding the opposite is the same as subtracting. Number 3. 3 times the quantity, 5 minus 2n, close parenthesis, plus 9n. Okay, take care of subtraction first. Subtraction to addition, second term to its opposite, so this becomes negative. Now we're going to do the distributive property. Okay, so 3 times 5 is 15. Drop down your addition symbol. 3 times 2n is 6n. And the opposite of that positive makes this a negative 6n. Putting it in parentheses just to separate these symbols. Drop down the plus and the 9. Okay, I don't have anything to combine with my negative 6n. So then let's look at our constants. I have 15, I have 9, which means I have a total. Oh, I copied the problem wrong. This was a 9n. This was a 9n. Redo. Okay, so now we can take a look at our like terms now that I have the problem, right? I had a little whoopsie there. These are my n terms, okay? So I have 9, I owe 6, which means I still have 3n. There's nothing to combine with the 15. I have 15. So 3n plus 15. Number 5. So we're going to add these linear expressions, which just are algebraic expressions that don't have any exponents in them. So 3j plus 11 plus 8j minus 7. Okay, so first job, no subtraction. So we're going to change subtraction to addition. The 7 we're going to change into its opposite, which is negative 7. And now I don't need any parentheses because it's all addition and I can add in any order. So you can rewrite it without parentheses if that helps. You don't have to, but here's what it would look like. Okay, then we can look for our like terms. I have 3j, I have 8j, which means I have a total of 11j. If we look at our constants, I have 11, I owe 7, which means I still have 4. So 11j plus 4. Number 7. 2r minus 13, close parenthesis, minus parenthesis, negative 6r plus 4. Okay, let's take care of all the subtraction first. Okay, we have to get rid of the subtraction. So subtraction changes to addition. The second term turns into its opposite. There's one of them. Okay, but we are also subtracting both of these terms. So subtraction changes to addition, and we have to take the opposite of both of these. So the opposite of negative 6r is positive 6r, and the opposite of positive 4 is a negative 4. You may want to rewrite this so that we don't have so many signs in here. And I'm gonna, now that it's all addition, I'm gonna rewrite it without any parentheses as 2r, drop down my addition symbol, Negative 13, I'm gonna put in parentheses just to separate these. Drop down my addition symbol. This is just saying positive 6r. We don't need to write that positive sign in front. So 6r plus, and then negative 4, okay? So then let's look for our like terms. I have 2r, I have 6r, so I have a total of 8r. Then let's look at our constants. I owe 13, I owe 4, which means I owe a total of 17. Probably you will see it written as 8r minus 17. Same thing, no big deal. Subtracting is the same as adding the opposite. This is how it's typically written. This is not wrong. Number 9. Okay, factoring out the coefficient. Factor means to divide. So our coefficient is the number in front of the variable, what the variable is being multiplied by. So we're gonna divide by that coefficient. When we divide both terms by the coefficient. We divide it out. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, which means I have 1n. Drop down my subtraction. 24 divided by 3 is 8. When we factor out, we write it as a product of its factors. So drop in the 3, put the n minus 8 in parentheses, and this all together is your final answer. Number 11. We're gonna solve, it says to check. I'm not worried about checking. So 7x equals negative 3, dotted line would go here. So the opposite of multiplying x by 7 is dividing. You have to show it as a fraction so that that proves the 7s can reduce to 1 or 1x. You can work out your division, 3 divided by 7. You don't really have to. You can just express your answer as a fraction, 3/7, and again, it's a negative. Number 13. So 2/9 g equals negative 8, okay? So in order to isolate our variable, we have to do the inverse of multiplying by 2/9, which is dividing by 2/9. But remember, when we divide, we actually multiply by the reciprocal. So when we multiply by 9/2 on both sides of the equation, that will prove that these 9s can reduce to 1s, same with these 2s, and 1 times g is just g, okay? We multiply the other side by 9/2. 8 is the same as 8/1. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 8 4 times. This was a negative, okay? Then we can multiply straight across. 4 times 9 is 36, and the opposite of a positive makes it a negative 36. 15. Negative 14 equals 6c. Okay, so the opposite of multiplying c by 6 is dividing each side by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, which helps isolate the variable to 1c. Whoops, there you go, or just c. Then we have to work out 14 divided by 6. I know it doesn't go in evenly. 6 goes into 14 twice at 12. Subtract, I get 2. Bring down. 2 times 6 is 18. Subtract, I get 2. Sorry, I got a little distracted by my house. Let's see if I have an error. 6 goes into 20. I think I missed a 3 there. Sorry about that. But I know you're capable of that division. You're gonna notice that this 3 will go on and on and on forever. So 2.3 repeating, so C is 2.3 repeating, and the opposite of a positive makes it a negative. The book may have expressed it as negative 2 1/3. Same thing, okay? If it was in class with me, I would tell you if I wanted my answer as a fraction or a decimal. In this case, it didn't specify, so it doesn't really matter. 17. So a hair salon question. Ooh, how exciting. Don't we all wish we could go to a hair salon these days? Okay, write an expression in simplest form that represents the income from W, women, and M, men, getting a haircut and a shampoo. So then we have to use the table, and it says a haircut for women, they're $45 each, and then the women are also gonna get a shampoo, which is $12 per woman. And then for men, and the men's haircuts are $15 each, and the men's shampoos are $7 each. And it said we want an expression in simplest form. So let's look for like terms. Both of these have W's in them. 45 plus 12 is $57, or 57W, I should say. And then we can look at the M terms. 15 plus 7 is 22M, and I can't simplify any more than that. Okay, 19, last one. So it tells us you lose 0.3 of a point when you step out of bounds during a floor routine. Your final score is 9.124. Write and solve an equation to find your score before your penalty. Well, let's use X. We don't know what our score was before the penalty. We know that we lost 0.3 of a point for stepping out of bounds to result in a score of 9 124,000ths of a point. Oofty. Okay, so here's your equation. That would be worth a point on a test. And then it says we need to solve. So the inverse of subtracting 0.3 of a point is adding 0.3 of a point. Inverses will cancel, leaving our variable all by itself. I added 0.3 on the left, so I'm going to add 0.3 on the right, being very careful to line up my decimal points. I can use placeholders if I need to, and then add them up. So my score before that penalty was 9.424. Okay, and that was our last one. Good luck on the check-in.